Started the softening process. I know this looks really gross, but actually what it is olive oil, 1 egg yolk, and some soap. And I'm sure there's some kind of special formula for the ratios on this, but honestly I just kind of eyeball it, and then I mix this up and like kind of mush it around and let it sit in this for like 15 minutes, and then you start the softening process. But what I'm actually going to do is put this in this, and then I'm gonna drive to Rapid Stick, which is about 4 hours later, and probably soften it tomorrow. This has been soaking in the tanning solution for about 3 days actually, but it was really cold at Rapid Stick. Probably like 40 degrees at night. So this is where it's looking. And I'm gonna soften it now. I'm gonna squeeze all this out. And gonna add some, I'm just gonna start rubbing in all that soap and trying to soften the skin. Another method. You can take a rock and do this. But honestly, I feel like the best method is when you can kind of wring it back and forth over something. Then, and when this starts to get a little dry, I'm gonna wetten it and put a little more olive oil on it. You don't have to use olive oil. I like olive oil because it's readily available where I'm at. I imagine you could use any kind of oil, really. I bet they used lard back in the day. The skin away from the scales, right? And this is a wire, it's just hooked up to the tree. And you're gonna just put that on there, lean back, and just go at it. I mean, you do wanna be conscientious that it might rip a hole in the skin, but so just watch it. But this is one of the best ways to soften your skin super fast. And don't forget to work it both ways. So lengthwise and widthwise. If you were going to stop in the middle of the softening process, I would think it would be better to freeze it. But I didn't do that, and it doesn't seem to have affected them much. So, yeah. I always find it odd how forgiving the process is. Anyway, so I guess it's been probably since I've lived in my place or whatever, like a year or two. I went out and I was like, well, I think I love the way sage smells, and I just love sage. But I don't ever find like sage perfume or sage anything. I'm not sure why that is. So I looked up how to make my own sage kind of smelling oil. So I went out and I gathered sage in the mountains, and I put it in this little glass bottle. I put the cork on it and put it in my windowsill and let the sun just sort of heat it up and suck out the sage smell. So then I was like, hey, that's olive oil. Maybe I'll just put that on the skins. So I put it on the skins, and wow, it just made these skins just smell so good. Okay, so I rubbed the sage oil in, and I decided that I needed to hang them out, kind of dry them out. I don't really have time to like soften them as they're drying, but that would probably be the best thing. But I'm gonna like let these kind of dry out this way, and yeah, well, and then just, you know, throughout the evening, like let them soften a little bit. I feel like they're a little bit damp right now, so I'm gonna just kind of work them throughout the night. But I just wanted to see how I just strung them up, just with some string. Okay. So this is the halibut. I finished softening all of these. They're looking pretty good. I guess I read that like if you want to get them smooth, you just kind of get them damp a little bit, and then kind of like staple it to a board. I'm not really that concerned with them being that flat. But yeah, they're looking good. These are the opposite sides. this is what it looks like when it's softened. So you can see it has like those fluffy like cobweb like things, but that's not a bad thing. You could work on that. Like, it's interesting. Like, there's some parts of it that don't have the fuzzies. But I find that most of the skins come out with the fuzzies. And the funny thing is I feel like this is a little softer, but you might get little particles on you. I read somewhere in Little Rame's book that you could let it dry like on a piece of plastic, you know, and then it would be smoother. I'm personally not that concerned with it being smooth. This is another one. I really like how this one came out. I think it would make a great, I think you'd have to have more of this for a wallet. But if this is a really pretty one, I think that would come out really well. And that's that. The cute one. It's a very nice one. That's actually very nice. This is smaller salmon skin. Oh, and I forgot to include these. How could I forget? This is how the carp came out. Very pretty. It's really interesting. I've never seen it do this before. But look how it's, you still have that kind of like iridescence, which is really cool. I love that. I love the iridescence. And I think there was one more. Must have fallen. Oh, this is the other one. Yeah, this is the other small one. This is the other small carp. And it's interesting because this one did not keep a lot of the iridescence. It just has a lot of brown. Yeah. But that's it, man. Pretty cool. The skins came out, and now my next video is going to be on sewing. And I can't decide. The only thing is I feel like that these would be easier to sew if they were flatter. So I may break out some plexiglass, or I actually have some glass. That would probably not be so great. Might find something that I can like stretch these out on to make them flat. But yeah, the softening process is done. It's quite the little endeavor. Anyway, and I just got some new skins from the sushi place that are full length. Like, we're talking like this. And that'd be great. So, I'm thinking about starting another round before I do some sewing. Anyway, okay. There you go. So I've decided that my sewing project, when I finish all these skins, is going to be that I am going to make a little pixie skirt. Or I was thinking a vest, but a vest is sort of like harder than a skirt. So I think I'm gonna just sort of make a little pixie skirt out of fish skins. Because this little fish leather company, or not fish leather, fish, the sushi place, right, gave me like a whole bag of like full scale skins, and I'm like the big fish skin, and so it's freezing. I froze it because I didn't have time to process it. I haven't even finished these. So, but they're gonna be like the big ones. And then I think I'm gonna just practice sewing them together. So this is gonna be my softening video, and then my next video is going to be sewing. Fair to say that I haven't done a lot of sewing. I have been you know, before I got into fish skins, I was super into leatherworking, but that was like with veg tan, like, you know, kind of like the cowboy style leatherworking. And I did sewing with that. I used to like make books and things like that for my family. But I really haven't done any sewing on leather. So it's going to be sort of like, you're going to walk this little journey with me, and we're going to do it together. I'm going to get my little book out from Little Rame and like see if I can do that. And then we'll just see what the outcome is, right? Because I feel like the greatest part about this is experimentation. It's not like you have anybody there to help you, right? So you sort of have to figure it out on your own. It's kind of fun that way, because it's like nobody's there to tell you. It sort of sucks a little bit, because you're like, nobody's there to like tell me I'm doing it wrong. There's nobody to tell me I'm doing it right either. So that's always fun. That's, I think, the fun part about it. It's like you're rediscovering what people have done. Now, it would be cool if I moved to Alaska and sewed with some of those ladies up there in the Inuit tribes. That would be rocking. Oh, but we can continue to dream, right? Anyway, okay. So, because I'm not an Inuit, there may be an Inuit who watches this and thinks, what the crap is that girl doing, right? But what we're doing is we're experimenting. And I think it's important to understand also that the original people who did this, right, had to sort of discover it themselves as well.